Throughout baseball history, there have been umpires who didn't just call balls and strikes, they terrorized players and managers. These weren't just officials making calls, they were dictators who turned America's pastime into a battlefield where fear and hatred were their greatest tools. Let's start with the umpire who made grown men cry and Hall of Famers question reality. Angel Hernandez didn't just miss calls, he destroyed careers and shattered dreams with surgical precision. Here's what they don't tell you about Hernandez's reign of terror. In 2018, he had 3 calls at first base overturned by video replay in the first 4 innings. Pedro Martinez, a Hall of Famer, said on live television, "Angel was horrible. Major League Baseball needs to do something about Angel." But the real conspiracy runs deeper. Between 2016 to 2018, Hernandez had a 78% return rate on first base calls. CC Sabathia couldn't contain his rage. "He's always bad. He's a bad umpire." The numbers are staggering. In 2023, despite working only 10 games, he missed 161 calls. Players weren't just frustrated, they were terrified. Ian Kinsler was fined $10,000 just for speaking the truth. But if Hernandez was the most hated, Joe West was the most feared, with 196 career ejections, more than any umpire in history. West's intimidation tactics were legendary. In 2014, he physically grabbed Jonathan Papelbon's jersey and was suspended for initiating contact. Legend has it he ejected so many players and coaches during his career that aerospace engineers started consulting him on the optimal placement of eject buttons in fighter jets. Andre Dawson was so enraged by West's call that he threw 14 bats onto the field. When Dawson paid his $1,000 fine, he wrote "Donation for the Blind" in the memo line. West sued a former player for $500,000 for defamation and won. The message was clear: cross Cowboy Joe and he'll destroy you. Then there's Tom Hallion, the umpire who became a viral sensation for all the wrong reasons. His confrontation with Terry Collins gave us the immortal phrase. But what happened next revealed his true intimidation. Hallion once stood directly over home plate during a Mets walk-off celebration, refusing to move. MLB had to investigate him for attempting to show up Todd Frazier. He was suspended for bumping a player, something so rare officials couldn't recall it happening before. Laz Diaz represents a different kind of intimidation. The umpire so controversial that fans literally attacked him. In 2003, a fan tackled Diaz at first base. But here's what's terrifying. Diaz barely flinched. His real weapon was his strike zone. In 2025, he called a pitch that missed by 6.83 inches, a new record. The batter could only stare in disbelief. When an umpire can call a pitch 6 inches outside a strike and face 0 consequences, every batter becomes a victim. But the most intimidating umpire wasn't the angriest or most hated. Ron Luciano was the most dangerous because he was beloved. Luciano admitted he would let catchers such as Elrod Hendricks, Ed Herman, or John Roseborough to umpire for him. His feud with Earl Weaver was legendary. He once ejected Weaver from both games of a doubleheader. Before the second game started, he told Weaver, "You're not going to be here to see it," and immediately tossed him. But here's a tragic shocker. In 1995, Ron Luciano took his own life. The autopsy showed he was in great shape for his size and age. So, why did Ron Luciano take his own life? His best friends don't know. His family doesn't know. Neither do his business associates, the police, nor the coroner. These weren't just umpires making calls. They were vicious dictators who understood that baseball is played as much in the mind as it is on the field. The next time you see an umpire make a questionable call, remember, you're not watching a mistake. You're watching the descendants of men who turned America's pastime into their personal kingdom of fear.